What's going on, guys? It's your boy beatsbyash, back at it again with another banger of a video. And today I have probably the most vile and disgusting aggressive deck I have ever drafted in Modern Horizons 3. And let's just say this video is going to be a great example of why finding the open lane that other players are not drafting at the table has proved to be one of the most successful strategies in Modern Horizons 3 draft. But without further ado, let's get into the goo. Alright, welcome back to another Modern Horizons 3 draft on the channel. Okay, so there is a Quorum, which I think is an okay card, but I don't think it's like a reason to go down Jund. There's a Thief of Existence, which I think is okay. There's also a Nightshade Dryad, and there's a Glasswing Grace. Those are probably the ones I'm most interested in. Honestly, it feels really risky to start with a Nightshade Dryad. And this guy is very situational because he gives your opponent a card. So I think I'm going to start with the Glasswing Grace here. Ooh, okay. There is a Amped Raptor in this pack, which I find to be a very strong card. And the Glasswing Grace could just be used in a red-white energy deck here. There's also a Conduit Goblin in this pack, which sometimes does wheel. So I'm kind of taking note of that alongside the Solstice Zealot, which are two cards that could potentially wheel. I would like to assume that the previous player took a green card out of this pack, but with the play boosters, you never really know, and it looks like they took the rare, which means it could have been anything. I think let's just go with the Amped Raptor. Hopefully we wheel the Conduit Goblin or the Zealot. To be honest, there's not really a good energy card in this pack. There is an Accursed Marauder. There's also a Basking Brood-Scale, a Arcbound Condor. I think I'm just going to go with the Marauder because while the Brood Scale is good, it's unlikely I get to play it with the Amped Raptor, and it's not really a reason for me to go green. It's just a good card that's green. Okay, well, there are some good splashable cards here. I could be a low-to-the-ground red-black deck, maybe not really using energy, but kind of just like trying to be aggressive, right? There's a Smelted Charge Bug in the pack, which I wouldn't be opposed to. Committing to black early is very, very risky. There's a couple of gold cards here with a Cursed Wombat and an Expanding Ooze. I think the best card in the pack is Roll Implicit Maze, so I think I'm just going to take it and stay open here. 2 red cards, 2 black/white cards so far. Pretty interesting draft. There is a Glimpse the Impossible here, which I guess would be the safest pick. There's also the Ondu Knotmaster, which I just had an undefeated run splashing this in a white-green deck, but I feel like Glimpse the Impossible is probably the best follow-up for what we have. I mean, Retrofitted Transmograte is a good card too, but I don't think it's a reason to go in to that niche in this format. And I think Glimpse is just decent in pretty much any red deck you throw it in. Okay, well, there's an Area Auxiliary here. Could try to get into red-white energy. We do know that there is a Conduit Goblin in the second pack that we could potentially get back, or that Solstice Zealot. I think Area Auxiliary is just a little bit stronger than the Proud Pack Rhino, but I think you do have to really watch out for taking 4-drops too early in this format, because in white in specific, I find myself ending up with, you know, too many 4-drops quite too often. But I think the Area Auxiliary is just quite a bit better than the Proud Pack Rhino. Okay, well, there's a pick 7 Conduit Goblin. That could be a signal that the first Conduit Goblin we saw could come back around. There's also a Reiterating Bolt, which is a more safe pick, but it has a lower ceiling, right? Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with the Conduit Goblin here. I think it's just the best card in the pack, and it goes really well with our Amped Raptor. Okay, pick 8 Conduit Goblin. That is a great follow-up and a good sign that we were playing into the open lane here, which is a pretty important aspect of this format in terms of just being successful overall. All right, well, there is a Sink into Stupor. There is a Roscott Knight, which we have a low opportunity to play here. But it is possible. I mean, we do have a Roll and Implicit Maze. If we pick up an Essence Reliquary, I have played this card before, so I think I'm just going to take it here. Oh, sweet. We get back that Conduit Goblin. Great tracking by me. And this is a great example of what to do in this format if you're looking to succeed. Try to figure out what gold card you think could potentially wheel. And if there is an opportunity for you to go into that color, it can pay you heavy dividends like you're seeing right now. We just got 3 Conduit Goblin, and all of them were pick 7 and onward, which is absolutely amazing because it makes us feel a lot better for wasting our second pick pick on this Accursed Marauder, or wasting our third pick on this Accursed Marauder, I guess. Well, I guess I'm unlikely to play any of these cards. Considering we have 3 Goblin, I don't think we really need to worry about locking something else in since we've gotten these cards so late. But I mean, 2 Retrofitted Transmogrids is pretty fine. Okay, there is a Thriving Skyclaw. That's a card that I think you can substitute quite often if you don't have enough 4-drops in your deck, but not an amazing card. All right, well, this is a very interesting pack. We have a Witch Enchanter, which I have found a lot of success with. This is one of the best cards to play with Essence Reliquary because a lot of times, unless someone's thinking about it, they don't stop to think that you could bounce back MDFCs with the Essence Reliquary, and usually it does a lot for you. There's also a Strength of the Harvest here, and there's a Glimpse the Impossible. Those are kind of the 3 ones that I'm looking at. I think since red and white cards seem to go pretty late, I'm just going to take the most powerful card overall. I think the Strength of the Harvest will be gone, but there's a good chance we either get this Thraben Charm or we get this Glimpse of the Impossible, but Glimpse might be gone just because someone's going Eldrazi. Let's hope for the Thraben Charm. Having 1 Witch Enchanter is really, really good. Okay, well, we see white's top uncommon in the form of Static Prison. Now, I haven't gotten to play with this card a lot because most of the time I've been getting into white. It hasn't been in an all-out energy shell, so I think I'm going to pick this up here. It's probably just the most powerful card in the pack, but I do think if you have the mana base to be able to play Arna Sky Captain, I think it's a really amazing card. There's also a red, white, black land in this pack, which is probably the best land for us in this deck, so hopefully that comes back around. If not, we could get the Hex Gold Slith. Either of those I would be pretty happy with. Siege Smash, I've just found I'd prefer not to play that card. Okay, well, there is a Proud Pack Rhino, which isn't, like, insane, but it is a card I'm decently happy to play. I think it's a little bit better than the Solstice Zealot, and these tend to wheel quite often. There's also a red-white land, but I just feel like when you're playing the most aggressive deck in the format, you don't care as much about the landscapes, and, you know, if we end up with 1 or 2, great. If not, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's go ahead and lock in the Proud Pack Rhino. Okay, well, there is a pick 4 Scurry of Gremlins. That's exactly what we are looking to see here. In my opinion, this is the most pivotal card in any aggressive deck because it's really difficult to push through people's late game survivability with all the token generation in this set. And this card just says, if you draw it at the right moment, you just auto win the game. Aether Revolt is a pretty good one, and we have enough energy to supply it, but I just prefer the Discharge for its versatility. I mean, this is surely becoming one of the most popular cards in all constructed formats on Arena that's actually legal in, and I'm excited to pick one up right here. So far, so good. Okay. There's a Hex Gold Slith, and there's also a Molten Gatekeeper. I do think Molten Gatekeeper is a better card, but in decks like this, I find 2-drops to be pretty important, especially with Amped Raptor in the mix, so I'm going to pick up the Hex Gold Slith here. Okay, well, there is a Pinnacle Monk, which is really, really good for us. We can use that to add back our Galvanic Discharge, our Glimpse the Impossible, and if Glimpse the Impossible mills a instant or sorcery, we can use it for that purpose too, so this is pretty nice here. Especially to see this late in the draft. Okay, well, there is a Skoa. Honestly, if I can get 2 copies of this, I'm pretty willing to play it. Cyclops Superconductor is a card that I was decently happy with at the beginning of the format, where I was getting into red-blue a decent amount. But after playing a lot, I've realized this is probably the worst gold card in the set. Okay, well, exactly what I called would happen came back to us. There's a Thraben Charm. There's also a Strength of the Harvest. In a deck like this, the Strength of the Harvest is probably more important here. And there's a good chance we'll be able to pick up at least 1 more Thraben Charm. So I'm going to go with the Strength of the Harvest. Hey, we get a Hex Gold Slith. Well, I'm really glad that I positioned us into this lane here. And now we get the Solstice Zealot that we took the Proud Pack Rhino over, so that's really good. Just building up our energy cards here. Into a second Glimpse the Impossible, pick 12. That is very crazy. Glimpse the Impossible is a very strong card. Expel the Unworthy I don't really like in these decks because it stops you from killing the person a turn that you would want to be going for game, but if you're low on interaction, it's definitely playable. Okay, well, we have a second copy of Rawl in the Implicit Maze. or we can get our first copy of Ajani Fells the Godsire. I think Ajani is probably just a better card for our deck, being that we don't have that much interaction, and the Eldrazi decks are pretty much a hard counter for our deck with their late game sustainability. So it's probably just going to be the Ajanis here. Yeah, let's just go with the Ajanis, and then there's a decent chance we get this back with how late that Glimpse the Impossible went. And if we get another Solstice Zealot, I would be decently happy with that as well. I mean, at this point, we're just picking every energy card we see. Oh, wow. This is a tough pick here. I think it's just gotta be this Galvanic Discharge, but with the way that this draft has gone thus far, I would not be surprised if this Conduit Goblin or this Legion Leadership came back to us. But overall, this is an insane pack. There is a Titan's Vanguard, a Refurbished Familiar, Malevolent Rumble. Like, this pack just has something for pretty much everyone, but we're gonna take the Discharge here. It's just too good with our deck. Okay, there's a Razorgrass Ambush. There's also an Essence Reliquary, which seems pretty good for our deck. I've had a lot of success with this card, but there's also a Smelted Charge Bug, which I find pretty important. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this card in aggressive white decks. I think I'm going to go with the Essence Reliquary here. I think it's just pretty good with all the ETB triggers we have, and we have 2 Sagas, which are great with Essence Reliquary, and there's also just a chance we get the Charge Bug back here. Oh my gosh, we're getting sent a Detective's Phoenix. We don't have the highest cost cards to be able to consistently collect Evidence 6, but nonetheless, it's just a good on-rate card, and we do have Glimpse the Impossible to be able to mill cards from our deck, so that seems like a very good choice here. Oh, wow. There's a second Ajani or a 4th Conduit Goblin. I mean, I think it's just Conduit Goblin every time here. Conduit Goblin is just too good, man. Way too good. It does feel kind of bad leaving that Ajani on the table, but ultimately we already have 2 Sagas, and I don't want to have too many high-costed cards in a deck like this. Alright, well, this pack doesn't really have the most for us. To be honest, I'm just going to take this for the gems because I don't think we're ever going to have the mana to be able to play Angel of the Ruin. Okay, well, there is our 5th Conduit Goblin. This is the most Conduit Goblins I have ever seen. Unfortunately, we don't have any dual lands at all, but that's okay. We're just going to get a 6th Conduit Goblin, which I've literally never had the opportunity to do here, but there is a first for everything, I guess. Okay, well, we could get a 2nd copy of Raw in the Implicit Maze, or we could just get a Solstice Zealot. Honestly, I'm just going to take the Solstice Zealot. I'd rather have the creature. Oh my gosh. We could get a 7th Conduit Goblin, but there's a Legion Leadership. Damn, Legion Leadership is just really good in a deck like this. Yeah, I think I just want to go with the Legion Leadership here. Wow. 7 Conduit Goblin I had the opportunity to pick is crazy. Hey, there's a Smelted Charge Bug. Sign me up for that. Wow, this might be one of the craziest white-red decks I have ever seen. Unfortunately, we didn't see another Area Auxiliary, but I think that'll be fine. Alright, well, with the way that our draft went, I think it's fine here to play 14 lands. We have 4 MDFCs, and although we don't have but 3 instant/sorceries for the Pinnacle Monk, I mean, we're not losing a lot by playing this because we do have the Essence Reliquary, which can bounce these MDFCs back to our hand. And we ended up with 6 Conduit Goblin, which is the most I've personally ever seen. We actually had the opportunity to get a total of 7, but I felt like it was important for us to pick up this Legion Leadership since we were already so high on creatures, and I think there might be a little bit of a depreciating rate of return on your 7th Conduit Goblin, but by all means, I could be completely wrong on that. Regardless, I'm super excited to see if we can just Amped Raptor Turbo into Goblin, into Goblin, into Goblin, and destroy our opponents. And this seems like the most awesome red-white deck I have drafted thus far in the format. So let's go ahead and get into these games. All right, hopping into match number 1 here with our 6 Conduit Goblins. And what do you know? We opened a Conduit Goblin. That's probably a good enough sign to keep. Okay, sweet. Now let's go ahead and drop down our Glasswing Grace here. Get our white source up and running. I just think this card's a little bit more versatile. Also, we don't have 2 confirmed white sources to even play this, but if we get an Essence Reliquary online, we can add it back anyway. So he can't play a turn 2 Conduit Goblin, but I've got back-to-back Goblin control. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Now, I know you may be thinking, you can answer the first goblin, but can you answer the 6th goblin? That is the question that we all came to answer here today. I'm going goblin on goblin, baby. No one can stop me. Oh, he's playing Naya? Interesting. Hey, there's our second white. Let's go. It might be more beneficial just to play down our second Conduit goblin here. Or I could just do the Solstice Zealot. Yeah, let's go for the Zealot here. Get in for 5. Opponent takes the damage. You love to see it. This discharge is so huge here. Oh my god, my discharge is going to mop you, bro. My discharge is about to mop you so hard, brother. Up to 5. Okay. I'd be spending 5 energy. I might as well see if he's willing to do that. Goblin control, baby. Yes, get rid of your tokens. I love that. Great. I love this. Don't worry, I'm just going to blow the back out of your Writhing Chrysalis. It's fine. It's fine. This is the way, brother. This is the way. So even if he plays another one, I can roll an Implicit Maze and bait it out. I mean, I almost just might just discharge him again. Hopefully he doesn't have a roll an Implicit Maze. He could reverse blow us out, which would be crazy. Wumpus Aberration? Okay. Just passing. And he's leaving up a red and a green. What does that tell me? I guess that means he could be going +3, +2. Alright, let's see what he does here. Okay, he doesn't have it. Wow. That was weird. Why was he holding up a green and a red then? Because it didn't seem like he had a toggle there, which was weird. Path of Annihilation? Okay. Well, that's an easy roll in Implicit Maze for me. Easy roll in Implicit Maze all day, baby. What do you have here, Buster? Cycling. Okay. I see you, my guy. Well, you're going to have to block regardless, so. Well, this hand worked out very well. Put him at 2. Next turn, I have an area auxiliary and a discard play 2. With 6 lands up, so it's very likely I just kill him here. Well played, sir. Well played. Okay. Well, we have 3 Conduit Goblins and a Scurry of Gremlins. I think this is a good hand. Imagine we just draw another Conduit Goblin. Goblin on 2, Goblin on 3, double Goblin on 4. That'd be crazy. It's so insane to me that so many cards in this set that in a normal set would have the legendary rule on them don't have the legendary rule. Which is ridiculous to me. That's one of the biggest changes we've seen with the game. Is that so many cards that would be considered a legendary back in the game, back in the day, are not considered a legendary now. Maybe I just want to play this. I think it's fair to play it. It confirms that we'll be able to double Goblin if we get a 3. Okay. We weren't going to draw a second white source anyway, so I don't feel bad about my play. Like, this is a good card, but I don't necessarily need it. Plus, we have an Essence Reliquary. Opponent plays a wooded foothills and passes. Okay. Up in the ante here. Conduit Goblin number 2. Upping the motherfucking ante, son. Try to hit for 5. 5 succeeds. You'd love to see it. Opponent passes with 3 mana open. God bless. Plays a tap land. Oh man, I feel bad for you. I legitimately feel bad for you. Gremlins on 4. Gremlins on me. Let's go. I mean, I'm going to gain 2 from my Goblin. I think it's respectable here just to buff something up. Well, that doesn't change the clock, so. I'll put him at 4. So now here I have a chance just to Glasswing Grace, but I could also just Conduit Goblin, redo Scurry the next turn. I mean, eating with a Writhing Chrysalis here, this is still game, because he'll only get 3 bodies and I'll have 5. Good game, sir. Well played. Well played. Well played, my guy. Well played, my guy. Johnny Goblins has entered the chat, brother. Why do I have to mandatory trigger all my Goblins? If he sacks his cards for a null elemental blast, I would be so triggered. He literally could have an elemental blast, which then sacks to kill one of my Goblins. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Let's go, baby. Not done yet. Underestimated 3.0. 6 Goblins too many, brother. Honestly, with the way I've been slinging Goblins, you might as well call me the big bad wolf, baby. The Goblin train ain't stopping today, baby. Conduit Goblin on 3, Conduit Goblin on me, baby. Let's work. Play a Riddlegate Gargoyle so I can profit in energy, sir. I need to profit in energy, and I also need to draw another Goblin. I would like to recharge my Goblin stash, sir. Hexcold Slith? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Pay the 1. Pay the 1. Oh, hey, we both profited 2 energy. That's really cool. I do not have a creature ready to play, but I do have the required mana to be able to play both sagas. And I'm thinking that this Raw and Implicit Maze is going to be super impactful. I legitimately might side out the Ajani just because I don't know how, like, real it is. Interesting. Honestly, I'd rather just do that. I thought I was going to be able to bounce this and play the Static Prison, but no, I'm just dumb. Next turn I can. No, I can't play the rolls because I'll be playing a land for a turn. Okay, well, I know what I'm doing with my sagas now. Never trade. Let's do that. Replay this, get free energy. The reason I'd rather take this is because if he has an enchantment removal, I'd rather him get back this than the area auxiliary, because that's just backbreaking. Ocelot Pride, well, that's bullshit. That's so bullshit. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's so scary. I guess I'm taking 7. Alright, you never have a haste creature here. No haste, let's go. We're rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep the Mary Auxiliaries rolling. Ooh, that's nice. Wow, that's really nice. I do kind of like playing this Glasswing Grace because it does give us lifelink. I mean, that just seems very good. If I play this as a land, though, I get that. Oh, no, wait. If I play this as a land, I can just replay it on another turn. Good job. Good job, John. You didn't miss the line. We never miss the line here, baby. We never miss the line. I see the line, brother. All right, well, I have a Johnny's here, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Hopefully he doesn't have a way to push through a game here. I could have obviously left the Conduit Goblin up, but I think at a certain point I have to be playing to win and not playing to lose. Okay. He's just going to pass. Take action. Add that back to hand, because I'm good at this game. Go ahead. Huh. Brother has no colorless mana. Get fucked. Alright, now let's do this. Oh my gosh. That's so freaking cheddar, bro. Of course he top decks that. Man, I was really trying to make sure that I was attacking correctly there, but unfortunately, because he top decked specifically that card to steal my flyer, it didn't really matter what I did at all. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a red source, so I'm gonna have to mull this, but this hand would be great. Okay, this hand has a red source. We have a 2-drop that's not Conduit Goblin for some reason. Witch Enchanter Legion Leadership, I don't know that he really had any artifacts/enchantments I care too much about. Alright, I'm holding the Legion Leadership. Legion Leadership's just nice. Bless me with the Conduit Goblin off the top, please. Back-to-back Goblins, I feel it. Scurry of Gremlins, okay, that's a pretty good one. Hex Gold Slith here. I'm just dirty like that. I'm G'd up. Distinguished Conjurer, okay. Three, two, two, two. I'm feeling okay about this. I guess my Scurry gives us 4 energy, which is pretty tight, but I could also just Legion Leadership. I don't know, maybe I should Legion Leadership, like, when I'm going for game. Well, that's scary. That's so scary. Dude, the fact that this gives him life, that's ridiculous. Dude, what the fuck? How is this guy high rolling so hard? You're kidding me. Blasphemy, I tell you. Blasphemy. I mean, I don't want him to keep getting 1/1s, but I have to do something here. Yeah, I think I attack with both. If he double blocks, I'm in on the Legion Leadership. No double block, cool. 4/3. Get 4 energy. Wow. Yeah, this is really, really gross. This guy's like, his deck isn't good. Like, I wouldn't play this card just because you have an Ocelot Pride, because it's not really worth it. The card is honestly just so bad. You're never using the 5 cost ability. Oh my gosh, into a Witch Enchanter. This guy's such a cuckold, dude. I guess I spend the energy. Dude, this guy is such a cuckold. I can tell he likes to watch people play Writhing Chrysalis. He doesn't want to participate, but he wants to watch people. And Ocelot Pride is such an irritating card to play against. He's all in, dude. What the fuck? Dude, stop retracting your attacks. You piece of shit. I mean, I guess I'm stopping him from getting the City's Blessing. Of course, I don't draw another land. Of freaking course. I mean, I kind of just don't want to attack. I think I'm just going to try to stall. Try to find a Rawl and Implicit Maze here. There is a chance that I just Legion Leadership and kill his Ocelot Pride. That could be pretty good. The fact he could go Distinguished Conjurer, though, and just remove my Phoenix is quite irritating. Wait, dude, why do you have this in your deck? This card is terrible. Like, it literally makes no sense in your deck. What the fuck? Okay. Dude, please don't let me lose to this guy. His deck literally makes no sense. He has an Eldrazi card, like a below average Eldrazi card, in his white-red aggressive strategy. It's literally like this guy just built his deck specifically around his one-of Ocelot Pride, and that's so toxic. I hate going against people who have bad deck building practices. Oh my gosh. If I would have just done it, it would be a blowout here. Please don't kill me next turn. Please don't kill me. Please do not kill me, sir. You do not kill me here. You never kill me here. If he has a Scurry of Gremlins, I'm going to be so tilted. He never Scurry of Gremlins here. He's not that good. Okay. Sure. Nice, sir. Nice. Alright, well, he obviously has a combat trick. To be honest, I think I might have to... Because he's going to get a copy of each token. I don't want him to get a copy of each token. Okay. Sure. Well, now he doesn't have the mana to use his Distinguished Conjurer, so I'm fine with that. Let's go. Rawl, to the rescue! Papa Rawl has entered the chat. Papa Rawl has entered the chat. Talk dirty to me, baby. Let's work. Oh, yeah. That was the best Rawl and Implicit Maze I have ever seen, baby. Our opponent is at 30 health, so this is really sus. We have a Sussy Baka here. Sussy Baka alert in the chat.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Alright, play a high attack creature. You know you want to drop down another bomb. You are a bomb-centric player. I know you want this. You would love a good bomb this time of year. No Mobamba? Okay. Well, unfortunately, sir, you have to tap that. I'm sorry. I think it's just this every time. Okay. No instants and sorceries. I probably just play the Pinnacle Monk tapped here. It's not getting anything back. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize it was until the end of your next turn. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Well, I guess once he evolves that, I can go Ajani. No, I have to Ajani now. Do I? I guess I'm in no danger of Ajani currently. Not using Idol of the False Gods? Why? Well, I have to wait until he idles the false god to go with Johnny here. Tap, tap, taparoo. Tap, tap, tap you. Okay, I can work with that. Okay. Tap, tap, taparoo. Yes, transform your idol. Transform your idol, sir. I want you to do that so bad. Please. My Ajani is waiting in the wings. Ajani is hungry. You literally have a deck that's centered around one busted card, and the rest of your deck is mediocre. I need to blow you out here. He's not making an idol? Okay. Okay. Transform your stupid idol, please. I really want you to transform your idol. Okay, glimpse into glimpse here. Honestly, I really don't like the way this guy's deck is. It seems really bad. His deck seems like an Omega clunker. Also, why are you not going second glimpse? He's not going to go idol of false gods and attack here? Bro, are you stupid? Is you dumb to dumb dumb to dumb dumb? Bro, why are you not just sacking your tokens to make your guy? I guess that puts another game piece on the board for Annihilator if he wants to sack his idol. Does he not understand how this works? I need an Essence Reliquary here to beat the stalemate. Oh my gosh, dude. I need a Witch Enchanter and Essence Reliquary. This is so sad. I don't want to lose to this guy. This guy is literally so bad. Please. Bro, why do I have to activate this ability when I don't want to? Please give me a removal to this. This guy's deck's so bad, please. Why am I drawing land after land? Of course, he gets a scurry of gremlins. Wow, of course, bro. Of fucking course. You also just had Ocelot Pride with the 4 cards that specifically interact with it. Wow. Alright, well, this guy just got so lucky. That's so irritating. He should have not won that first game, man. On the draw with 3 lands, sign me up. And we have the Essence Reliquary, so there's no negative to dropping our MDFCs. That's what I love so much about this card. Another MDFC. You'll love to see it. Solar Transformer. Okay, I need to kill that with Witch Enchanter. Give me a land. Please, give me a land. Preferably a red land. If not, I'm just going to have to play the Witch Enchanter to establish my Zealot. Or maybe I'm establishing my... I think I'm establishing my Essence Reliquary. Because then turn 4, if I don't get a land, I can bounce back the Witch Enchanter after tapping it to kill it. Well, that was dirty. Hey, it's a land. I guess I'll play this guy. Offer tradesies. Offer tradesies. Trade offer acceptees. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. He's playing green-blue. He has a Solar Transformer, so I assume he has, like, really good splashable cards. Malevolent Rumble. Finds a Horrific Assault. Okay. And he's playing an Invert Polarity. Dude, that's really risky to do in an Eldrazi deck. Okay. Play my Essence Reliquary. I guess I just go with Johnny Fells the Godsire here. Maybe I just want to get rid of his tokens right now. I kind of want to play this first. Go to 10. Next turn I can play a Johnny's, kill the Drownyard Lurker, and he has 7 mana floating, but we're going to get the Raw effect here, so. And now that I have 5 lands, I can technically go a Johnny plus Static Prison if I need to. With 3 total energy, that's almost like a full game lockdown. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so vile. I guess I could return this back to my hand. I don't know how much I care about the token. He hits us for 5 here. Next turn, I have the option to play a Saga and a Conduit Goblin, which is pretty legit. It's going to be difficult for this guy to grind us out. Goes with a 3/3 flying, okay. Am I ever just killing this to mitigate damage? Now I'm good to chump here. I'll get a token, I can bounce the Ajani's, kill his Meddler. Man, Essence Reliquary is so good. Bouncing Sagas in a simplified game state is so crazy. And at a certain point, I can just bounce my Glasswing Grace. Maybe it was correct to just bounce my Glasswing Grace. Second Transformer, okay. Play down the Ajani's. No hexproof, great. Sure. He's just passing, okay. Now I could bounce the Glasswing Grace and start gaining life. Return that back to hand. Okay, hold full control here. Play big guy. I want to kill it, please. My Essence Reliquary is fiending. You got rid of my one way to gain fucking life. Are you happy, buddy? I'm not happy. Okay. Add back to hand. I never miss those. Kill your guy. And then pass. I like this card. Okay. Let's go! Essence Reliquary OP. Alright. Game number 2 versus the final boss here. Well, I have a red and a white for the Ajani's. It's sad because this would have been our 3-drop, the souls to sell it, but I think this is fine. I mean, Ajani's is just so important in this matchup. Oh, hey, it's Witch Enchanter. I really just want to show someone at least one time that we are playing a deck with 6 Goblin. Like, can I just draw all of them? Does he have the Dryad? Does Buddy have the Dryad? No, he has a Rumble. He gets the Meddler? No, he gets the land. Okay. Interesting. Hey, Goblin number 2. What's up, buddy? I have a feeling Essence Reliquary is going to be key to winning this game. Snapjaw. Yep. Am I ever just killing that to slow him down? I think I am. You gain 3? Okay. Get him for our 2. So you really only gained 1 there. Enter tapped. Now next turn I'm representing double Goblin. Double Goblin control, baby. They're going to target each other. Okay. That's a land. That's good. Goblin number 2. Friend of Goblin. Sweet. If we're trading, I'm happy with that all day. I'm so happy with that. Thank you, sir. Sack for your 7/7 Vigilance? That'd be goated if you did that, bro. I would respect you. Just go ahead and sack for your 7/7 Vigilance. I don't have any tricks up my sleeve. I've only got 3 cards. You know, I have 6 Conduit Goblin total, but you don't know that yet. This is going to be a learning experience for you. Understanding how to play against someone with 6 Conduit Goblin. I know it's a learning curve, but I think eventually you'll get it, just not this game, okay? Don't worry, I'm just going to top deck an Essence Reliquary next turn. I'm just that guy. They call me Himithia for a reason. Now, unfortunately, your creature's going to get exiled, so he cannot use his ability again. But that's fine. My energy is pretty important to me, so I'm not going to do that. Take your 4. Good boy, good boy. Good laddie. 4 for the cause, baby. The Essence Reliquary is inbound. I repeat, Essence Reliquary is inbound. Actually, let's go Amped Raptor into Essence Reliquary. We haven't got to experience the joys of Amped Raptor this run yet, so I'd really like to show my opponent a Amped Raptor into a 4th Goblin. That'd be respectable. Okay. I see you, my guy. Okay. Well, we're going to show him all the Goblins. I'm the Goo Goblin for a reason, baby. Okay. There's a reason they call me the Goo Goblin, buddy, and I'm sorry to tell you. The Goo Goblin is here. Unfortunately for you, sir, you do not have any green mana to be able to use that ability. Now, I understand that is a respectable ability, but you don't have any green mana. Okay. This Goblin targets that Goblin. This Goblin targets that Goblin. This Goblin targets that Cat Warrior. Take action. Take action. Take action. Take action. I'm now randomly threatening you for game. Hell yeah, that was goated. Yeah, Goblin control. Yes, sir, Ski Brother. It's the Goblin control, baby. Put some respect on my boy, the Conduit Goblin. He rocks out with that vigilance, son. Alright, no worries. You just have to get 4 bodies on the board. You already have 1. You only need to get, 3 more with 4 mana. Just draw Writhing Chrysalis, right? Like, that's how you win. Oh, that's not a Writhing Chrysalis. I'm sorry. Rats from the bay, baby. Oh my gosh. It's the dream. The Goblin dream, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir, ski brother.
I fucking knew it. Oh.
Wombo combo. The Goblin boys are here. Let's work, baby. Trigger number 1. And that's gonna be enough. The Goblin King is back at it again. Let's fucking go, boys. Well, that was a really awesome run. Unfortunately, our opponent in the second match had such a high roll start with Ocelot Pride into a bunch of other random supporting cards that are ass on their own, but when you draw them in that sequence, are very, very good against our deck. But this was an awesome run nonetheless, so let's go ahead and do a quick little deck review before we end the video. So we ended up with 6 Conduit Goblin, which surely was the MVP for the duration of this set. Like, I think this is just the card you want to wheel. If it ends up being that this is the gold card that's open, like past pick 6, then you're very, very happy to play this deck, and I think that was showcased more than ever today. And I don't know that we'll ever see a more tailor-fitted and streamlined red-white energy deck for the duration of this format, so this was really awesome to experience. We had 2 Discharge, which has just been, a staple card in any deck you can play red in, and it's been seeing a lot of play in Timeless, Modern, and Historic alike. The card is absolutely amazing. Hexgold Sleuth was actually pretty good because we baited our opponent into, just trading with it a lot of the times when we just had, sick Conduit Goblin, and we'd rather have those survive. Smelted Chargebug unfortunately got killed on sight. Amped Raptor, the poor little boy, we never saw him one time, but in theory, this is the most broken card in our deck because it just gets us another Conduit Goblin, and then we had Legion Leadership, which was more of a dual land than anything. Essence Reliquary, by far the best card in this run. As you saw in that last match, we were able to keep looping our Essence Reliquary with our 2 Sagas, which was absolutely unfair versus the Eldrazi player, because typically in that matchup, if you're playing red-white and you're going against any Eldrazi deck, you're losing in the late game no matter what. I mean, if you're playing any deck that's not Eldrazi and you go against an Eldrazi player, you probably lost if it went to the late game. But this just goes to show that Essence Reliquary is so high utility, it can just steal you games out of that position. Static Prison was amazing because we had an endless supply of energy, and I understand why this is white's top uncommon. Honestly, a Johnny Fells the Goldsire was just so crazy, and I think this one is very underpicked because, like, Eldrazi is the main deck that you're going against, and in that matchup, this is the card that counters the deck better than anything, even without an Essence Reliquary. Glasswing Grace was absolutely amazing, and I have to say, I've recently started picking this card more frequently, and I am not dissatisfied with that at all. I should have been higher on this card early on, but I just don't have a high preference to starting in black or white, but it's just such a versatile card, and especially with the Essence Reliquary, just having 4 MDFCs gave us so much utility. Pinnacle Monk was actually surprisingly decent, even though we only had 3 or 4 targets for it. Still, just the aspect of being able to buy it back off Reliquary when your instants and sorceries are the highest card quality that you could be getting in this format for removal, it's still well worth its weight. Scurry of Gremlins was amazing as always. This is still one of my top 5 picks in the format for pack 1, pick 1. Like, I think depending on how the pack is laid out, if there aren't any, good red-white cards in your first pack, and this is like the only good one, I think this is better than Writhing Chrysalis if there's like a bunch of other good Eldrazi cards, because it means that, you're getting a card of similar power level in my opinion, and on top of that, you're moving into a lane that is going to be difficult for the person you're passing to and pick one to follow. Whereas Eldrazi is like 95% of the time completely contested. It's just Chrysalis is so good that if you start with it, it doesn't really matter if you're contested because the card's so powerful. Detective's Phoenix was cool. Unfortunately, we didn't get to bestow it at all. We very rarely even saw this card, but when we did, it was still a good card nonetheless, and I still really like this card. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a way to utilize this card in something like Historic. I think this could definitely be very clutch, just because it's essentially a dredge card. You know, you can just keep reviving it over and over again, and in an aggressive deck, I think that is absolutely amazing. But overall, I had a lot of fun with this draft. I think to put the head on the nail of this draft, what I learned is that if you have a deck with such high quality, low costed creatures, even if you don't have 6 Conduit Goblin, that it's very fair for you to go down to 14 lands instead of 15 when you have at least 3 MDFCs, because before this draft, I have never done that, but if you have the curve to justify it, I think it's just so much better, because while we do want to get to, you know, our 5-cost sagas, at the end of the day, the deck is about playing your early game creatures and pushing them through for damage. These are just cards that you use in the late game as like a secondary way to win the game or push through something. But a bunch of the time, you're not even going to need to use that, and it's more important to just not brick on lands with a deck like this, because if you miss a point in the curve of the first 3 turns with this deck, you're probably just going to lose, because the deck isn't that late game oriented, even though Essence Reliquary makes it so. And while we're on that topic, I think Essence Reliquary is almost an auto play in pretty much any deck that has at least 3 MDFCs or 2 sagas and or has a bunch of energy cards, because just being able to replay the ETBs on the energy is absolutely amazing, and it's well worth just putting in the deck, because it is instant speed even though it's only on your turn, which I think is something that a lot of people overlook, on top of the fact that you can, you know, play down an MDFC and then add it back to hand as a, you know, spell instead of land. And the thing that comes up the most for me is that, let's say you're only at 4 lands, but you have a saga in hand and you don't have a 5th land, well, then you can tap that land, bounce it back to hand, and replay it, and it's essentially like you don't miss your land drop. So in that regard, this is almost an MDFC on its own, because it can replace mana sources in situations where you didn't draw another land, and I think that's very important to note to get to the full ceiling of this card. And if you haven't tried this out, I really recommend you play with Essence Reliquary before this format ends, because it is a blast, and it makes you feel very skill intensive and rewarded for your plays. But overall, this was an amazing draft, and I'm so glad that we got to experience this before the format ended. But that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this draft as much as I did, and I hope you guys are having fun with this set before it inevitably leaves, because Wizard is just pumping out these products like no one else, and sometimes we just aren't getting to experience these awesome gems in the product line for as long as we really should. So I definitely recommend you spend some time in Modern Horizons 3 draft before it is over. But thank you so much for getting this far in the video. If you want to see more awesome content, make sure to smash the like button, turn post notifications on, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another banger. And as always, if it's not the goo, it's got to go. Peace.
Is that indigo?